Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IAM Love Builder Show. We are your hosts, Casper and Cheryl Stockham, and we are so glad that you tuned in to join us for 2025.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we're back.
We are back, and we are just wanting to thank all of you for being such loyal viewers, and we want to give a shout out to all of our broadcast partners. We thank you and Happy New Year. I Am Love Builders is a show that's dedicated to all things dealing with communication and relationships. Regardless of whether you are married or single, we have something to share that will enhance, strengthen, and bring health to your marriage or relationship. That is our MVP.
Yes,
That's what we want you to be, MVPs. That's the most valuable partner in your relationship.
absolutely.
So,
And
and, and our famous saying, because we believe it, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
Yes, and you can check us out on live streaming. We're live streaming on JVBN Network. We're also on Rumble and YouTube. All right, so we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. I Am Love Builders. We have a show called Winning with Love. It is currently available on Rumble, Amazon, Apple. It's on the Zondra TV network, Zondra TV network. You can download it on Roku, Apple, or Amazon Fire, and we're excited about that show, season 1.
Yes.
And we'll have some exciting news about season 2 coming up here in a couple months. We also have 2 micro networks that we're looking for content providers for. We have I Am Kingdom Network and a Love Builders TV network. Those are micro networks that are also on Zondra TV network. We have a lot of media services that we can provide for folks, so reach out to us. We'd love to help you with pay-per-view, for podcasting, or TV advertising, you name it. We have access to some really great programs through Zondra TV. We also have a free Facebook group. We're helping podcasters get more visibility for their podcasts. So it's called the Most Valuable Podcast Network. It's a Facebook group. We do 15-minute interviews along with some training and things that we're going to be providing on that Facebook group, free group for you to join. So we'd be happy to have you there. We have a special running right now between now and Valentine's Day. If you go to our free MVP app and download it, you will be entered automatically into our Love Pack giveaway. We're going to be giving away a Love Pack. This is a $399 value. We're going to be giving away on right around Valentine's Day coming up in February. So all you have to do to enter is to go to the app. You can get to the app by scanning the QR code or going to iamlovebuilders.com. Download the MVP app, and you will be automatically entered into the drawing for a Love Pack giveaway. And in the MVP app, you would become a MVP Lite member. It's a free member. We got access to videos and MVP personality profile, love assessment. We've got the purpose quiz. We're adding an MVP quiz, a lot of great stuff up there, and videos and training and so forth. So check that out. All right. So we're starting out this year pretty busy already. So we came off a vacation, but this weekend
was a busy weekend.
It was a busy weekend. We had a couples training that we do at our church.
For singles, this particular one was for
couples
singles.
Training on Friday.
With couples training on Friday. And then on Saturday, we had our singles workshop.
Right.
So, and then our first 2025 show airing right now on I Am Love Builders. So it's been a full weekend.
Yeah. The couples training on Friday, we did this training the second Friday of every month at our church. So if you're in the local Colorado, Denver area, please come up. Friday evenings is open to everyone.
Colorado, Denver, Golden, Lakewood, Littleton.
Absolutely. You can come up to that training. Now, we probably won't have a training next month because it's Valentine's Day on that same day. So a lot of folks are celebrating Valentine's Day with a dinner or whatever. But we'll probably be back doing that training in March.
Correct.
But the singles training was the first of probably 3 or 4 we're going to do for the year. We're finding our singles were kind of feeling left out from some of our training. So we decided to do a training just for our singles. And that worked out. It was called Single by Grace.
Amen.
Is the name you came up with. So it was a great training. It was a 5-hour training. And a lot of the folks at the beginning said, 5 hours? What can you possibly talk about for 5 hours when it comes to relationships? Well, we have way more material than we had time to cover.
Yes. I mean, when you pick the topic communication,
yeah,
that's a 5-hour topic all by itself.
Right. Yeah, so that was a good training. There a lot of great feedback. So, and we asked them toward the end, we said, you want more? And they were like, yeah. So we're going to do more of those trainings. Again, if you're in the Denver, Golden area, those trainings are also available and free.
Yes.
So, and we had 3 different categories on that. We had the folks that are single by choice, they just aren't really
they don't want to be married, right, or they're widowed or divorced and they don't want to stay that way.
Right.
And then we had those singles who were married by choice.
Well,
single by choice.
Well, they're married, but they're
married, but they are in a relationship that's kind of unequally yoked.
Right. So they're engaged with the church and with trying to improve their situation, but the spouse is really not.
Yes.
So we had some information in that same workshop for those folks.
Yes. And then the last one was for single but wanting to marry.
Yes.
And we had information for them. So we tried to cover as many bases as we could. The one thing that we did emphasize that being unmarried is a joy to the Lord.
Absolutely.
Because you have the opportunity to do more in the kingdom.
Absolutely.
So there is no stigma on being not married or never wanting to be married.
Right.
It is a joy to the Lord.
It is. So those are great trainings. And again, now we're back with the live show. Now next Sunday, we have some guests. We have some special MVP guests. But at least once or twice a month, we're going to do training on this show because we have a lot of stuff we want to share with folks. And today is going to be a really good one. We're going to be talking about issues and hidden issues. And people don't, we're going to get into it, the issues and hidden issues. So when we come back, we'll be talking about that. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to get into this topic because it's one that's really important and people really need to get a hold of. So you're listening to I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Your love deserves the best. You deserve MVP Premier. Transform your relationship with our exclusive 5-day immersive experience for only 8 couples a year. Luxury travel, stunning resorts, gourmet dining, and a lifetime of support await you. Reimagine your relationship. Apply now at mvppremier.com.
All right, we are back with I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl. We're so excited to be with you guys. Hey, a lot of times with couples, there are things going on.
Yes.
And we call those issues. Right? There's always something going on. When we coach couples, they come to us with issues.
Right.
But what we find is that a lot of times those issues really aren't the issue.
No, those are the surface issues.
Things. Right. So we want to talk about today are the what we call the issues. We're going to talk about all of it. But we're going to start out with the issues, the things that people come to us with. So I'm just go ahead and kind of talk for a second. I'm trying to update my screen.
So a lot of times when we're in our relationships, be it married or co-worker, whatever, we have a lot of things that's going on inside of us, which shapes our emotions and how we feel, our attitudes, our mindsets, and how we communicate.
Mhm.
And a lot of those things are things in us that really maybe haven't been completely dealt with.
Right.
So they're buried, some of them are buried really deep, but some of them are right on the top, but our behavior and the attitude and our expression is a direct correlation to what those deep emotions or trauma or drama or pain or fear or whatever it is that's on the inside of us.
Yeah. So we have actually a chapter in our book, Divorce Proofing Your Marriage, and we talk about these issues. Now, we have them listed as the big 10. They aren't necessarily in any order.
No, and it could be
And
more than 10.
It could be way more than 10,
Mhm.
Obviously. But, there are 10 kind of big issues that we find when couples come to us. These are kind of the top things that they kind of talk about and want to talk about and want to deal with. So we're going to start out and kind of talk about these topics. The first one is money.
Oh, yeah.
Money is a big issue.
Money is.
Right? So finances in a relationship. And if you haven't talked out or worked out the money aspect of your marriage and relationship, you're going to have a tough time.
You are. Especially once you get into the marriage, you realize that the two of you have two different spending styles,
Right.
and two different mindsets concerning money.
Yeah.
And they may clash. And if you don't discuss it ahead of time, then each of you will have expectations of the other.
Right.
And when these expectations are not met or not lived up to, then we have an issue.
Right, right. So we're talking about are you going to have this? Are you going to share checking accounts and savings accounts? Are you going to have different ones?
Yes.
Is he going to have his and she's going to have hers? Are you going to have accounts together?
Right.
And I know for us, we have a combination of all those, right? So, and we're starting to actually make sure each other's names are on the accounts because something were to happen, you're going to have to jump through all kind of hoops just to get to those resources.
Yes.
And people say, well, I don't know if I want her, her name on all my accounts. Look, if that's
so then you have an issue called trust.
Right, which we're going to get into because because money as an issue when they come to us about money, it's really not about the money. There's something else going on.
It's trust, and it could be cultural because they just have two different mindsets about money. They were raised differently.
Yeah.
For some single parent home children households have a different perspective on money, whereas a home where both parents are there have a different where the family may have struggled versus a family who never had to struggle at all.
Right.
All of these are different mindsets, and if they're not discussed beforehand, then once you get into the marriage, they could possibly clash and clash big.
Yeah. Now, if there's no hidden issues around money, it's a pretty straightforward process because in our home, we kind of go with the divide and conquer thing, right? So you have some bills that you take care of, responsible for, and I have other bills, so we kind of divide and conquer. But we don't have a lot of hidden issues when it comes to money. But there are a lot of hidden issues, and we're going to get into those because that's really what's going on.
Okay.
People are just affected by that. So the next one is jealousy. Another big issue.
Now, you wouldn't think that was an issue between a husband and wife because, from our perspective, they're both on the same team.
You would think they'd be on the same team, yeah.
However, there are couples who do have jealousy issues. If one's career is thriving better or more than the other one's, there's a jealousy issue there.
Right. And there's all kinds of levels of jealousy. And again, these are the issues, but not the hidden issues. But one is a jealousy amongst friends, right? Because especially if he has his friends, she has her friends, and you get married. So you're like, okay, well, so we're just going to hang out with only your friends. What about my friends?
Right.
So you
Right.
have that kind of jealousy going on. And then you have the jealousy about, well, he was very popular.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a lot of women that are looking at him or whatever, or vice versa.
Vice versa.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so why are you hanging out with Bill? I don't understand.
It's like, well, Bill and I have been friends for 15 years.
Right. I get that, but Bill's not your husband. I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the things. But see, again, that's the surface issue.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why it's an issue is because there's lack of trust and things like that we're going to get into. So it's not, jealousy is a surface thing, but really we know, especially after doing this for 16 plus years, we know there's something else going on that's causing that spouse to be jealous.
And there's even jealousy regarding to talents and skills and educational level.
Yeah.
So it's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, and there are households who are dealing with this.
Yeah, it's a real issue, but it's probably not the issue. Another one is communication, and that's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big one, right? That's probably one of the top three is communication.
Yeah, because with communication, as we have said before, is so varied and vast that you have to consider all the different variables of communication.
Right.
There's communication with regards to culture and religion and upbringing and one country versus another country, or this home and another home.
Right.
Because we all didn't learn communication the same way.
Right.
We've used the example of friends of ours who one is Italian and one isn't, and when the one get together with their family, they're very demonstrative. They use their hands, they raise their voice, they're very loud, and the spouse thought that they were all angry with each other. It's like, no, we're not angry.
No, it's fine.
No, we're loving on each other. That's how we talk. And for him, it was different.
All right. Well, we're going to communicate more with the folks after this quick break. You're watching I Am Love Builders show with Casper and Cheryl. We're excited you guys are with us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in just a moment. All right, we are back with I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl, and we're talking about issues and hidden issues. Right now, we're just going over the issues. And there's the Big 10 that we've been kind of going over. We were into communication. And it's a big one because
people have different communication styles.
Different styles of communication, and there's even from male and female perspective, right? Women are naturally better communicators, I think, than men. So it takes us more effort to communicate because we can just do the head nod or say, hey, you good, dude, you good? Oh, yeah. I don't need to talk about it. Whereas women are like, yeah, hey, oh girl, and he said, and she did.
We're detailed.
Yeah. And
we want to make sure that there is no confusion about what we're saying.
By the end of a female meeting, everything is known.
Yes.
And by the end of a male meeting, nothing is known. I don't know nothing. But what did he say? I don't know. I just thought he was a good guy. That's his business. I don't want to get in his business.
Like, did you guys accomplish anything? We're like, well, yeah, we did.
Yeah,
well, what?
We got a lot accomplished.
Okay.
We just can't talk about it. Yeah, so communication is huge. But again, there are some underlying hidden issues going on with communication. We're going to get into those as well. So the next one is religion. Yes. That is also a big issue, especially if you're unequally yoked. Or some people have been wounded by their religious experience. I would put myself in that category early on when we met and were dating and stuff. We got married. I was like, I don't understand why I should be involved with these people. I mean, they're hypocrites. They're they're saying one thing at church, but then in the parking lot, they don't even get to the car. In the parking lot, they're fussing with the spouse.
Mhm.
They're not treating their spouse right, barely in church.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then, we find out they've been just being abusive, verbally abusive, physically abusive. And I'm like, these are church people? I'm like, no, right?
You're right.
So,
You're absolutely right.
so yes, so religion is a huge thing. But again, it's not so much the religion, it's the underlying hidden issue going on. Because when we got married, we were somewhat unequally yoked in the sense that I was spiritual, but just not plugged into a church. But I didn't allow that. I made sure that was not going to be an issue for us, right? So I would still support you in that. I wouldn't say, "Are you going to that church again?" Or I said, "No, okay, I support you," and I would go, right? But I just wasn't really all that engaged because I just,
Boy, has that changed.
yeah, I'm engaged now, deacon at the church. Leadership team, security, whatever you want me to do now. But it wasn't the church, or the what do I call it? It wasn't the.
There's a difference between church and kingdom. There's a difference between church and I have a relationship with the Lord.
Right. And your relationship with God should not be affected by other people's lack of relationship. In other words, if they don't have it right, okay, I mean, that's bad, but it shouldn't cause you to stumble.
Right.
You should be able to still have a relationship with God regardless of what's going on, including even your spouse, right? You still should have the plugged in relationship because that could keep the entire family plugged in.
Right.
So, yeah.
But it's a big one. Some of them, they start out and they think, well, it's not going to be a problem. You just go do yours and you go do mine.
Yeah.
And then the kids come and one says, well, I want my children to be involved in this ceremony.
Right.
And the other says, well, no, I want them to be involved in this ceremony.
Right.
And it's, yeah.
Yeah.
It can be.
It
Now,
can
there may be some couples who work it out quite well, but.
And I think we did, so it wasn't an issue for us, but it could be and has been. We coached many couples who were a part of different religion, different denominations.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that could be a huge problem. All right. Then another issue is sex.
Mm-hmm.
Another big one of the top
and this one is a tender one because a lot of people don't want to share.
Right.
So it stays in the shadows, but all it does is fester and grow, which overwhelms a relationship to the point that you have a lot of arguments and may even lead to divorce. It just infidelity, all of that enters in. So that one can be a very tender one.
It is tender, but we also find that if there's infidelity or issues going on with sex, again, there's a hidden issue going on as to why that's happening. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get into those hidden issues. We're not trying to keep you in suspense. We're just kind of going through the surface level issues because that's what people come to us at the surface. Mm-hmm. And we have to kind of dig down to find out what's really going on. And we're going to talk about what's really going on here in just a bit. But we want to make sure we cover these surface things, issues, problems, situations, because that's what most people key in on, right? So the top three are like finance and communication and sex. And with sex, it could be just a lack of respect for the other person.
Or a lack of knowledge, or how they were viewed, how sex was viewed in the manner in which they grew up, or how they learned it. But it could be worked out. But sometimes people don't know.
And all these issues really are almost like a conversation checklist that you should almost have in front of you, right?
When you're dating,
and say, okay, how do you feel about finances? How do you feel about sex? How do you feel about? And we did that. Right? In our short engagement process, we talked about those things, and they were tender things to some degree, but we still talked about them because you have to had that figured out.
Mhm.
And I think what really helped us is that we were, we weren't spring chickens or whatever. We weren't in our 20s. We were a little bit older.
I'm in my 20s.
Yeah, you're still in your 20s. But we're a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and we really knew what we wanted and what we didn't want. So
Yeah, we've already been through enough junk.
yeah, been through enough drama. Leads. All right, so another one is our children.
Children.
Oh man. And now with blended families and things like that, this is big. So we have his kids and her kids, and they're it's
And
like
then we have the other parents involved, the stepmother, the in-laws. Not well, that's the in-laws. Well, the in-laws could be.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm thinking like the ex-wives, ex-wife, the ex-husband, and there are different parenting styles. There's do you want children?
Yeah.
Well, I always wanted 5. Well, I never wanted any. You know what? We're 5 years into the marriage, what? Or we've been trying for 2-3 years to have children,
Yeah.
and now you tell me you never wanted children.
Right. That should have been discussed
Yeah.
early on. And things change though with people. It's not
Right.
like it's going to be that way necessarily forever.
Oh, they might say, "Well, I did, but until I got into my career now, and I'm about to make partner. I don't have time for that."
Right. Hey, you're watching I Am Love of the Show, Casper and Cheryl. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back in just a moment. All right, we are back with I Am Love Builders Show and Casper and Cheryl. Hey, we're talking about some things that are very important. These are issues and hidden issues. Right now we're still going through the issues, but we're going to spend some time on the hidden issues here in just a moment, because those are the real things going on. We want to make sure you understand at the end of the day what's really going on with these relationships. And those are the hidden issues, because those are the ones that we actually need to address. Because you address the hidden issues, then the issues kind of take care of themselves. They go away kind of thing. Right?
Right.
All right. So the next one is friends.
His friends, her friends.
Yeah. Friends.
No friends.
No
Too many friends.
And are these friends good?
Really friendly. Good friends, bad friends.
They may not be good for the relationship. They may be causing issues.
They could. Yeah.
Right. Because he may have some friends and he's been with these friends for 10 years, whatever, or more. And then he gets married and now all of a sudden he can't hang with the friends. So now they're like, man, if she got you tied up, you can't. So, no, I just want to be with my wife. That's the point, right? And then,
or your friends hang out at the bar, and now that you're married, you still want to keep that same lifestyle. And your new spouse is saying, but what about us and the kids?
What about us here? Yeah.
We're here at the house, and on Friday nights, it'd be nice if you and I could go out to dinner instead of you going down to the local bar with all of your friends.
Yeah. And again, it's not the hanging out with the friends. It's not that it's bad. It's just there's something else going on. The reason why you don't want to be home.
Right.
Because I've been in that situation in prior lives to where I didn't want to go home.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hanging out with the friends because I didn't want to go home.
I see.
Now I want to be home.
Yeah.
So it's much different now, but it wasn't back then. So that's an issue, right? But in that issue, the issue wasn't hanging out with the friends. The issue was I didn't want to go home because of respect and things like that.
Which are some of the hidden issues.
Some of the hidden issues we're going to be talking about. Okay, another one is careers. Yes, careers could be a big issue.
Right. Especially if they're not discussed at first, or maybe they are, but like you said before, situations and things change.
Yeah.
And people, they get a certain amount of value from those careers and an identity,
right,
to the point that they don't want to let it go.
They don't want to let it go.
and then it becomes an issue with the spouse. Or if they both are that way, yet there's children involved, now we got family issues because the children is like, you got a 13, 14, 15-year-old, 12, and they're like, really? And you're like, well, no, I thought you were picking up Johnny. Well, no, I thought you were picking up Johnny. Well, no, I'm about to make partner. Well, no, I'm getting promoted to CFO. So like, there's the children.
Yeah, my career is more
important than your career. Yes.
You got all those things, but again, that's the issue. But really, what's going on is something below the surface that we need to address, which would be the hidden issue regarding careers. All right, so then we have recreation. And you say, recreation, how can that be an issue? Well, when you were dating, you may have been somebody that's really outgoing, loves to go camping or hiking or whatever. And then your spouse goes with you because they want to be with you, but they really aren't into camping and hiking and all that outdoor stuff.
Right.
But they want to be with you. But then when you get married, you still want to do all that stuff. You want to go hunting and fishing. And they're like, again, with the hunting and fishing, can't we just...
Or sports.
Sports. Oh, yeah, sports is a big one.
Yes. It's like, okay, we can go to a game every now and then, but every game?
Every Sunday.
And when we're not at a game, you're glued to the TV the whole time.
Right.
And what about the rest of us? The other spouse and the children are like, okay, do we get any of your time?
Right.
Why are you so attached to sports?
Yeah. This is a big area. I think sports more than the other one, but still, it can be outdoors activities. It could be, maybe when you met, you guys are going skiing all the time, but then you realize I don't want to go skiing.
Right.
But they still want to go skiing. And as soon as you decide you don't want to go and they decide to go, that's when the hidden issues start. Because you're wondering, what are they doing up there? And sometimes it could be very innocent and whatever, but it could be to where somebody else who does want to go skiing is also up there of the opposite sex. And next thing you know, they're having fun with somebody that's not you.
Right.
And that's where the hidden issue starts to come in.
And then there's just the hidden issues that why is it you don't want to be at home? Or they may say, well, I'm going skiing, but they don't even ask you to go.
Yeah.
And you may want to go, but you're made to feel like you're not invited.
Yeah. Could be a big problem. All right. And then we have alcohol and drugs.
Yes.
And this, we may be using alcohol and drugs to kind of dull our mind or kind of check out. Things get a little tough. Careers get tough. Family life gets tough. So you just kind of go into your into the cupboard and start drinking or start taking
maybe
drugs.
You got something that happened even before you met your spouse that you've been hiding and masking.
Yeah.
And that's what the drugs and alcohol, they help you to hide that pain.
Right.
Pretend it didn't happen, it wasn't there, and it begins to control you.
That can be huge. All right. So those are the issues. But we know, after doing this for a long time, we know that there's actually something else going on. We know there are bigger issues under the surface, and there's a lot more of these. Now, we haven't listed at 10, but there's a lot more things going on under the surface that we typically have to get explore and find out what's going on so we can help that couple. Because, we could talk about the money and the jealousy, communication and religion and sex and children, friends and careers and recreation, alcohol and drugs. We can talk about those things, but that's probably not going to solve the problem.
Until we get down to the root cause.
Right. Until we get to the root cause. So we're going to start into the root cause, what's really going on. The first one is caring. There's an old saying just in general, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes. And actually put the slide back up for a second, because some of these spill over.
Mhm.
One, they're all connected.
Mhm.
So when you look at money being an issue in a relationship,
Mhm.
it could spill over. The actual thing is lack of trust or control,
Right.
or maybe even integrity.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They're all intertwined.
They're all intertwined,
Yeah.
and you need to be willing to dig deep.
Yes, we definitely need to dig deep into that, and that's why we call them the hidden issues, because they are things that people don't really talk about in the beginning, but we help them. We kind of dig deep. Hey, you're watching I Am Love This show, Casper and Cheryl, and we're talking about issues and hidden issues. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in just a second. All right, we're back with I Am Love of the show, Casper and Cheryl. We're talking about issues and hidden issues, and we're into the hidden issues now. We're talking about the first one, which is caring. So when we talk about caring, what does that bring up to you? What is it?
A lack thereof, being put in a situation, or you grew up in an atmosphere where you were ignored,
Mhm.
you were devalued, you were made to think you had no worth at all. Abandonment, no one spent any time with you. Lack of affection, no one showed you that you were special and that you were valuable. Those.
Okay, but that's when you're growing up, but in a marriage.
No, but when you're growing up, those things happen
Mhm.
and they transcend into your marriage. If
Okay.
you don't get any healing or deliverance, the fact that you don't weren't cared for,
Mhm.
then that could be the reason why you let me see, I'm trying to think, and I can't think. I need to see some of them. That could be the reason why you have maybe even money issues, or friends is an issue, because your friends give you the attention
Right.
now
Right.
that you didn't get before.
Right.
So you put them before your relationship.
Mhm.
It could also be, what was that word? Careers. Your career makes you feel important, gives you a sense of self-worth.
Mhm.
Therefore, your career becomes an idol to you, a god to you,
Right.
and your marriage takes second, third, or fourth, fifth place.
Right.
So that's why I say those things of care in the area of caring could spill over to any of the other issues on the surface.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So what about power?
Power, it could be a situation where you were abused, neglected, abandoned, and therefore you felt you have no power.
Mhm.
So,
You know what I think about is in a situation where the husband controls the money
yes.
and the wife wants access or wants to buy something,
Mhm.
but she has to, beg the husband for
Mhm.
money to buy a dress or whatever, just
Right.
food,
Because
anything.
he's
Because
controlling
he's
it.
controlling the money.
And it also could be that maybe he doesn't trust.
Yeah, yeah. So, but he's exercising his power over that situation,
Mhm.
as opposed to them sharing
Right.
and just working on it together. It's a power control trip,
Right.
right? And power is something that we all want power, and it doesn't mean we want control over people, but we want control of our lives, right? We want to be able to say, um, even though we're married, you're my wife, you still want to be able to have input into
Yeah,
the things going on. You
Mhm.
want the power over your,
absolutely.
over your life.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but power is a big hidden issue that people don't talk about at the surface, though.
Right.
They don't walk into our into our environment and say, "Yeah, he's trying, he's exercising his power."
No, what they say is, um, he won't let me hang out with my friends.
Right.
He won't let me go shopping.
Exactly.
And, or I want to go to church. And he said no.
Right.
Things
Those
like
kind
that.
of things. Exactly. But what's happening is the power and control is taking effect, and we need to get down to figure out what's going on with that, because they won't come to us with that. They won't say that he's exercising his power over me or control over me, but that's what's happening.
Right.
They're trying to control the situation. But we want to have some control over our kids, for example, right? We don't want them running wild.
No, nor do we want any other people dictating over our children either.
Right. So we want the power to actually separate the power between the society and our children, because if we just give our children over to society, we see where that leads us to.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And then another big hidden issue is love. And this is more, I don't want to say relevant, but it's more important for wives to feel loved by their husbands than husbands to feel loved by the wife. Like a husband really wants respect more than love.
Right.
But love is more, and in the word, in the Bible, it talks about husbands, love your wives.
And it made me think, I heard recently a story about how do I want to say it, a scientific experiment where they had a group of children, infants, who they loved and cherished and cared for, and another group of infants which they totally ignored and didn't. And there was a difference. Those infants who did not get love and care and affection did not thrive.
Well, this is how powerful love is. It correlates into nature. In other words, you could have glasses of water.
I've heard of those.
You can have 2 glasses of water, separate, obviously, and 1 glass of water. You just, oh man, you're so clear, you're so lovely, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, you're healthy. I love you, drug drinking, whatever. You can be really kind to that 1 glass of water, and the other water, you can say, oh, you're nasty, you're dirty, you're whatever. Just talk bad to the water, and I don't know how long it takes. It takes days or weeks or whatever, but over time, 1 glass of water stays clear and the other one gets muddy.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
And that also says how powerful words are, which affect some of those issues and hidden issues.
Exactly.
It's the power of words and what's being spoken to you.
Yeah, you can do this with plants as well.
Yes.
Right? That's why people...
I speak to my plants.
Speak to you. I know you do. They're all flourishing and looking good. I don't speak to them, and they probably look at me like, dude, we're going to get some love over here. Yeah, but, in nature, this is, love is so powerful. And without it, that's when things start to fall apart. And it's a big hidden issue that we have to, that's why we call ourselves IAM love builders.
Yes.
Because we're building the love and putting it back into that relationship, that marriage and relationship.
So the next one's respect, and you could have, like, in a scenario where the husband never wants to be at home, maybe he doesn't feel respected in his home.
That's a fact. I've been in that situation, and without the respect from your spouse, it kind of all just falls apart. You're like, what am I doing here? What if you don't respect me? Then I need to be somewhere else where somebody respects me. And then we have kind of like false respect. In other words, it's not real. It's kind of like, I don't want to say pretend, but we feel that it's respect, but it's really not. It's just, it's infatuation or whatever it is, and it doesn't last. And as soon as there's no benefit,
that happens in infidelity situations.
Right.
Yes.
Somebody gets pregnant, all of a sudden now you're like, oh. And now all that kind of falls apart.
Or they leave their current spouse and go to this other person that they think is going to respect them, only to find out that that's not working either.
That's not working either. Yeah. So that's huge. The respect that we are looking for in our marriage and relationship, it needs to be there on the man's.
And I would say respect and recognition would go together, which could also lead to why people are not. And careers.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to and watching I Love Building Show, Casper and Cheryl. We'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome to IAM Love Builders MVP Premier. Your marriage or relationship deserves the best. You deserve MVP Premier. Introducing our exclusive 5-day one-on-one intensive immersion tournament. A life-changing experience for only 8 couples per year. From door-to-door charter travel to your choice of 4 exclusive locations. Gourmet dining, romantic outings, and VIP local transportation. Be part of it. And the best part is, you gain lifetime access support via phone, text, or video chat. Your relationship reimagined. Reinvented, renewed, MVP Premier, because you both deserve nothing less. Apply today, spot your feeling back. All right, we're back with I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl, and we are here talking about issues and hidden issues. And man, I tell you what, we see this all the time when couples come to us. They come to us talking about the issue, and we listen to them for about an hour or 30 minutes to an hour. And we're like, it's interesting. And they tell us all this stuff. They're like, yeah, and he said this, and he does that, and she should put the food. And we say, that's interesting. And then we ask them, so where's God in your relationship? What? In other words, where's love in your relationship?
Right.
Where's long suffering, and where is kindness and gentleness?
And some of it is so, you're like, you think in the back of your mind, why did they get married?
Yeah.
Because they were so different from the beginning. And because even if you ask, what was your engagement like? What was it like when you were dating? And you say, and you guys decided to get married, you were already fussing before the wedding. It's like, so what was the true issue as to why you all felt you needed to get married?
Right.
There's some hidden issues there. Some people are escaping. Some people are using it as a crutch.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think that other person, this new person, we're going to get married, and they are going to make me happy and help me get rid of all of my pain. I'm just going to forget it now, though. And it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work. And what we have found is that there are hidden issues going on, and that's what we dig down deep to try to find out what's really going on, and that's the things that we address. Mm-hmm. Now, I've also noticed something else. So when we start to dig and talk about the hidden issues, they still want to talk about the issues. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's cheating on me. Yeah, but he's
okay. But let's look at why he's cheating on you.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We're trying to get down to the real issue. The real issue is you don't respect him and he doesn't love you anymore. Mm-hmm. That's the real issue. Because
or when he tries to show you love, you push him away. Because a trauma or drama or pain that's inside of you that you've never really dealt with, you just keep hiding it.
Yeah. And if he did love, respect, and there was commitment, which is another one.
Yes.
If there was commitment and trust, there wouldn't be the other issue. Yes. He wouldn't be cheating on you, or she wouldn't be cheating on him. Those things would not be going on.
Mm-hmm. Another reason why he goes and does a lot of recreation and stays at work is because you've put the children before him.
That happens a lot.
So why are the children before your husband?
Why are they speaking? It should not be.
They've become your idol. You wrap around them and leave him out on the side.
Yeah, it should not be. And according to the word, your spouse comes first, not the children. Yeah, so there's a lack of commitment there that's manifesting itself in the issues, but that's really not the issue. The issue is there's no commitment in that marriage anymore. Right. They're not committed to staying together, not committed to loving each other and cherishing
working it out.
It's all that is gone.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. And then the trust factor, especially when there's infidelity going on. The trust is not there. Mm-hmm. So even when you try to, or you say, well, I won't do it anymore. But they don't trust you because you said that before too.
Right.
So now we've got to fix the trust factor. Mm-hmm. And then we say, okay, that can be fixed because we've actually seen couples that have come back from infidelity. But the trust factor has to be built back up. That
Right.
issue, right?
Right.
So you have to almost overdo things. Make sure your spouse knows where you are, which is reasonable. It's a reasonable expectation, especially.
I mean, we do it, and
Yeah.
there's been no
It's been
infidelity. I just feel like in today's world,
Mhm.
it's just wisdom.
Right.
If I'm out, if I go to an event, because in Casper stays home with her daughter, because we don't have a sitter, and maybe I go, or I'm hanging out with my friends,
Mhm.
I let him know, okay, it's 9:00. I text him, I'm on my way home.
Right. And you say, well, she doesn't need to know where I'm at any given time. Well, maybe not, but
But if you feel that way, there's a hidden
There's
issue
a-
behind that too.
there's a hidden issue
Because
going on.
I trust my husband, and I want him to know. I respect him enough. I want him to know. And when I was single,
Mhm.
me and my girlfriends even did that,
Right.
because the world can be an unsafe place. So if we were all hanging out, and when we dispersed to each go to our homes, we would call and text each other and say, "I made it home okay.
Right.
Did you make?" It's just, I think it's wisdom. And it's common sense for what we have to deal with today. It's not that anyone's checking up on you or monitoring. You could be in a situation where maybe that type of relationship. But for the most part, it's common courtesy and wisdom. I want you to know, okay, I'm
Yes.
at the corner of 6th and Main, and I'm headed home. Or
Yeah.
I'll call you and say, hey, look, there's craziness going on the street. There's police everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
But if that's a real big problem for you, that you can't call your spouse to say, hey honey, I'm on my way home.
And recognition is also big, especially for guys. We want to be recognized
Mm-hmm.
as being a contribution to the home and situation and the things we do, because we're builders and creating things and stuff. So we want to be recognized for that. And if a wife does not recognize her husband at that level, that's a hidden issue that spills out into
One of the other issues, which is why they might stay away or so glued to sports or building their career, or wanting to stay and hang out with their friends. That's a big one. And so then there's also integrity and acceptance.
Right.
And I know we're getting short on time.
Yeah.
So when it comes to integrity, if there's no, which goes right side by side with trust, then you have the issues spill out in money, spills out in jealousy, spills out in why people go, maybe religion. Maybe that's why she hangs at church all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she hangs out with her friends, or there's these things. Acceptance also goes with caring and love. If you're not being cared for, not being loved, and not be accepted. But if you're in a group of friends who make you feel that way,
Right.
regardless of whether they're good for you or bad for you, that's where you hang out. Or your career really boosts you up and make you feel amazing, and they give you recognition, and they say, oh, you're just the best, and we're going to promote you, and we're going to give you more money. Then you just like, hey, this is what I want.
Yep. So those are the issues and hidden issues. We hope you got a lot from that. We really want to make sure that people understand there's probably a deeper thing going on that's what we try to get to help you in your relationships and in your marriages. Hey, you've been watching I Am Love Builder, the show with Casper and Cheryl. Season 1 of our show is live. You can download it by going to the MVP app on our website, IamLoveBuilders.com. There's a ton of information in that app for free, and then we have an upgrade if you're interested. You can download Zandra TV from the Roku, Amazon, or Apple TV and watch the show, or you can go to YouTube and search for Zandra TV. Hey guys, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
And we will see you next time. We'll see you next week. Talk to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.